There's one stock that is about to skyrocket, in my opinion. They are a LiDAR sensor stock. LiDAR is used for drones. It's used for autonomous vehicles. This company actually is integrated in Nvidia's autonomous vehicle demonstration. Elon has famously said that LiDAR is stupid, expensive, and unnecessary, so Tesla is not currently focused on using it. They would rather just collect a ton of data and use machine learning in real time rather than relying on sensors like are more closely related to those you might have in your car right now, you use when you're backing up or when you get too close to another vehicle on the highway. Just because Tesla is not gung-ho about LiDAR does not mean that the stock is not going to go up, because there's so much demand from, well, the project with Nvidia made the stock absolutely skyrocket when that was initially announced. But also drones, military applications are a lot slower moving. I mean, the government's famous for doing cost plus contracting, where they charge you for how much it costs to do something and then add a percentage off of that on top of that, which makes it super expensive. All I'm saying is the government doesn't always pick the best and newest technology, and we may want that as people, but as investors, they seem to be liking LiDAR, so we do too. Let's jump into the chart, which is the price levels, and see why it's a good buy now.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 So this is what it looks like. This is that massive move up from 1 to 5. This is a penny stock, but that was the Nvidia announcement that they're integrating LiDARs, LiDAR systems. I'm not saying that LiDAR, which is the LiDAR technology, is synonymous with this ticker, which this company just so happened to pay for or otherwise secure the LiDAR ticker, but you know, it wasn't a bad move. It certainly feels one and the same. There is some volume ramping up again. You can see the volume pretty much dried up after that massive move, but there's still enough volume where it's interesting. So unless you are investing more than, say, I don't know, 100 million. So let's say you want to put 10 million in this stock. That would be pretty unwise because it's only traded about 20 million. Or even less, 15 million the last handful of days. So I'm not sure that this is actually accurate, that it only traded 50,000 on that day, but no matter what exactly the volume is, you definitely want to be careful. We'll just say that. So you can get caught in stuff like this. If you buy up here in all this volume and you try to sell, you're going to depress the stock price if you have a big few $1 million position. Is that applicable to the vast majority of this audience? No, but it actually is applicable to you because you want big people to get into these stocks because that's your support. That's what keeps the stock going up. Demand from big people, from institutions, from high net worths, from family offices. If they don't feel comfortable getting in and out of these stocks, well, the stocks can just crater. So this one is kind of right on the edge of being just liquid enough to be safe to hop on board. You could say you might have an edge with a smaller account because you can get in for a move, you know, that's crazy. That's 20% because it's a $3 stock. You know, you go from where it's only a few percent a day, up or down. You know, red is down, of course. and then suddenly you're going up, 5-10% in a day very quickly, a few days in a row. So that's the idea. The level is interesting because it goes back to August and then late August and then again this month, and you're sort of also playing off of this high volume day. So what that essentially says is a bunch of people, when it goes below this level, they're losing money. So they almost certainly sold before now, because it's been over a year since this high volume level. But it means a lot of people are looking at this level because it's pretty important. If they did buy in and sold, if it gets back above that level, which it is right now, then they think it's going to go higher because it's back above where they bought. Generally, I mean, this volume is distributed along this candle, but generally you look at the close of a day as pretty much the price. When you say, hey, what happened on July 24th, it's like, well, it closed at $3.20. So that's kind of the granularity we want to be looking at that in. If we look any more, higher resolution than that, you just start creating stories that aren't true. It went up, it went down, it went up. I mean, this down move was just based on, it was actually a breakout that then the market all moved down on Friday. So this moved down a lot, but it's actually not a lot at all compared to how much the market moved down. So it's holding up, which is why it's a good idea now. But you don't want to get caught too much in the day-to-day, or you'll invent stories when if you zoom out, you can say, oh, I see what's going on here. This level is important. It tried it here, tried it again. Now it's trying again. And LiDAR is pretty interesting right now. Not particularly by Elon, but you know what? Elon is just part of the market. So even if Tesla doesn't want to use LiDAR, it doesn't mean that there's a lot of other companies that still need it. So they're also a little bit diversified. They are using for like mapping because they're sensors, so they do depth. And then a lot of cars are sort of transitioning to self-driving or using them. It's not like you see self-driving on the road unless you're in Austin. And drones as well are using LiDAR as sensing. Well, this is sort of a rosy application. Urban afforestation, which must be the opposite of deforestation. But you can think of why drones in military applications that sense moving targets is also an application for LiDAR. So here are some other tickers as well. OUST, robotics, industrial automation. Think like Walmart Labs, Amazon, warehouses, infrastructure inspection, bridges, drones that provide camera images of places that are hard for humans to reach. And then AEVA is another one that works on autonomous systems, aka drones and now cars, and makes them better at seeing like humans do. So those are the two other tickers that are doing pretty awesome right now. OUST setting up for a while here. It's hard to get too excited about it after a huge day like this, unless it maybe pulls back and then you buy it. But it's definitely very interesting right here, regardless of it feeling like chasing a little bit. And then AEVA also interesting, sort of seeing some sort of thing shaping up, although the volume is not particularly indicative of a move to the upside. So we'll see what happens there. LiDAR has to be the most interesting one in my opinion. And I don't know exactly which of these applications is going to be the one that moves the needle for them, but people are definitely talking about LiDAR, not as much as, who's going to get the next OpenAI deal after Walmart and Broadcom and AMD and Nvidia. But regardless of that, I mean, 30% year-over-year increase for OUST, 50 million strategic collaboration with LG, like the smartphone LG. That's for AEVA. And there's enough interest, definitely, in the sector. And this Nvidia collaboration is sort of the vote of confidence you need these days in the market. So it's unclear who Nvidia will partner with for autonomous vehicles with LiDAR. But if there is some sort of autonomous collaboration, it seems like LiDAR is going to be Nvidia's choice, which is a pretty massive piece of news there. So, don't know if it's going to be defense, don't know if it's going to be autonomous vehicles, self-driving, but there's definitely some volume, and people have seen what happened when there was volume before, which was that move from $1 to $5, and now the question just becomes, can you get in a safe way? Obviously, AI-based obstacle detection and early warning systems are incredibly important for both defense and any sort of transportation. So if there is some sort of a news announcement, it seems like if it's related to LiDAR, LiDAR is probably going to be in the conversation, even if it's not directly the company mentioned. So yeah, drones, OEMs, I don't exactly know what they're talking about here, but essentially just components that make up drones. This is a component company, whether it's for drones, whether it's for cars, whether it's for urban planning or smart city, Internet of Things. Basically all the buzzwords use chips, use sensors, use electrical components that we call LiDAR. So there's a chart that's a sort of disgusting amount of detail about the fundamentals of what is a penny stock. So that's why I say it's, not particularly worth talking about ad nauseum, because this entire company is trading less than $10 million a day sometimes, compared to, its collaboration partner Nvidia, which just today traded, what is that? 150 million times 100 would be over $10 billion a day. So about 1,000x difference in the amount of shares and money traded in Nvidia versus in LiDAR. But hey, that's why we're talking about this on this channel, because unless you have more than 100 million that you're trying to deploy each week, you don't need to look at Nvidia. Hope that helps. If you like these ideas, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe. And if you want to talk, head over to stockscommunity.com. Try it out for $25 for 7 days. Sometimes I read the comments. I almost always do eventually read the comments, but I don't always respond quickly or at all, because the Discord just makes more sense. See you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This is Sam Putnam.